mentioned the banks, now 10% below the 50-day. That is an unusual number.
It's time for them to make a stand. I think a lot of them have come down too much, but if we have a recession, banks are the worst stocks. I don't think we'll have a recession. Like I said, it's manufacturing. It's manufacturing.
Well, that doesn't mean there won't be. I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, no, manufacturing can easily cause a recession. Absolutely. I'm not saying that manufacturing means it's not going to happen. I don't think we'll have a recession. I don't think we'll have a recession. I don't think we'll have a recession. Like I said, it's manufacturing. It's manufacturing.
Well, the continued downturn of the stock market has people like Jim Cramer confusing himself in trying to analyze exactly what the president is doing. People just keep missing the obvious answer. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Still, the process of retaliation is starting to come into full effect. We heard the comments yesterday from Canada about electricity taxes and Doug Ford. I'll gladly shut it off completely if I have to.
Smoot-Hawley, 60% increase in tariffs. There isn't anyone in any history book, and I know the president reads history, there isn't anyone in any history book that doesn't say that was a considered reason why we had the Great Depression. There isn't a soul who's ever said that. Look, go read Galbraith's book. It's really quick. It was a direct cause of the Depression, not the recession.
So it is playing with fire, you think?
Absolutely. But is it arson?
Meaning you can contain the blaze? Is that what you're saying?
Meaning that you're doing it. Maybe it's deliberate. Right. And it doesn't make any sense. You don't want people to be laid off because of what you say. People are scared, Carl. You don't scare people. You don't scare. It's a wrong call. It's all message. People are scared. Are we really going to let the Italian stock market beat us? Is Spain going to... Spain? I mean, are you kidding me?
When you elect a lifetime proven loser to run the country without any guardrails this time, yes, you lose on grounds other than just the stock market. Not enough people look back at how blatantly obvious it was that this president was badly selling the lie that he's good for the economy.
They said the stock market will boom if I'm elected. If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Okay.
It's going to be horrible. We don't win for so many other reasons, too, but you'll have a depression like 1929.
And when the stock market was doing well under Joe Biden, this was his sales job to anyone willing to listen. This is the Trump stock market, because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win, and that will drive the market up. Everything else is terrible. Watch the Middle East. And record-setting inflation has already taken its toll. Make America great again. And it's almost like people ignored all reality in exchange for boisterous, egomaniacal failures, self-interested opinions. And now that bad news keeps piling up on a daily basis for more people than the libs that they think they own, Republican salesmen are out in full force to salvage Trump's ego, until the rich get their tax cuts.
And the only problem you have with these tariffs, there's always a scoreboard, and that's going to be the stock market. And people are looking at the stock market like, hey, this is how it's going to continue to be for months and months and months. That's not going to happen. We were probably overbloated with the stock market here for a while. We went up quite a bit. But at the end of the day, it's about fairness, it's about having fair tariffs, everybody on the same page. And again, President Trump has put together a smart group of people that understand a lot about the dollar, a lot about foreign currency, all the things that are going on. At the end of the day, it's all going to work out, and it's going to work out better for the United States of America.
No details or evidence, just more empty promises that end with a patriotic slogan from the dumbest senator in the country. And since Tommy Tuberville thinks that the only problem with tariffs is that the stock market is a scoreboard and not the fact that they force the cost of daily goods and services to rise for everyday Americans, he should pay attention to how quickly the score changed as Maria Bartiromo defended Trump's economic plans that look a lot different than his campaign promises.
But President Trump is looking from 30,000 feet above. He expects a disruption. He said that the other day, sure, we'll have a disruption, but we're okay with that. And I asked him that in the interview as well, what other disruptions might he expect? I think it's largely companies and investors getting used to a new day, a new sheriff in town, and that includes ensuring that America comes first. So, yes, we are talking about tariffs, and if you listen to the people who are against tariffs, including the Wall Street Journal editorial board, they'll say, well, ultimately, that cost is passed on to the consumer. But President Trump's pushback on that is just what you heard, that he is luring huge investments into America, and the rest of his agenda is deflationary. Remember, you can't just look at tariffs in a vacuum.
It's funny that I don't remember the MAGA message saying there's going to be a disruption and you'll lose a bunch of money for an indefinite amount of time. But we're okay with that. Trust Donald Trump anyway. Her second point does coincide with the tactic that MAGA uses when their lack of a logical stance traps them in a corner. Just scare people until they think that you'll save them.
Things have changed quite a bit in the world. It is a dangerous world out there. And President Trump's main priority is to protect America. And what I mean by that is there are things that Americans rely on that are made in a supply chain in adversaries' countries. So when you look at, for example, semiconductor chips, advanced semiconductor chips, which are very much needed for our military, for drones and advanced technology, those chips are made in Taiwan.
It doesn't make sense when you think about the fact that this president has spent most of his time cozying up to adversarial countries and attacking allies. They even got Canadian dumbass Kevin O'Leary to come to the network to claim people losing money while prices increase is a great thing. Because, you know, that was the MAGA rallying cry on the campaign trail, too.
You know, I've lived through these markets, multiple corrections over the years. I hate to say this to people that just bought the index yesterday, but this is very healthy. It's very healthy to have a significant correction like this and reset the entire stage, because the market has been extremely buoyant for a long time. And you should expect these corrections to be 12 to 18 months. And when they come, they're painful, but the bull case for the indexes remains intact. And I think we'll recover from this. I hate to say it. I'm glad this is happening.
You know what? I could not agree more with Kevin O'Leary. He's spot on. I think so many people, it's so easy to panic on days like today. But if you woke up, did anything change today about the fundamental awesome story of Microsoft? No. So this is panic selling. And to Kevin's point, it's healthy, it's good. We came into these markets 2 straight years where the market went straight up. That's not healthy either, right? I do hear your point about some of the recession worries that are out there. And certainly this is a market that is readjusting to all the tariff jitters that are out there. But again, a lot of this is selling begets selling. And I agree with Kevin that if people get out of this market now, they always miss the rebound on their way up that could happen.
So are we noticing yet that no matter what the situation is, that the message from this White House and this president is that if things are decent or even good, all credit goes to Trump, whether he's in office or not. And when things are going badly, it's always someone else's fault, whether he's in office or not. It works pretty well until you have all the power and are left holding all that responsibility, because that's when cowards go and hide until the smoke clears.
Rare for President Trump to not appear in front of a camera, but today he was nowhere to be seen, which meant reporters couldn't ask him about this, the massive stock sell-off that began the moment the bell rang. The Dow was down almost 900 points. The Nasdaq took the worst beating, down 4%. The Nasdaq's decline was its biggest day decline since September of 2022.
And I want you to make sure you're hearing this number correctly. $4 trillion of market value since its all-time high less than a month ago. I'm talking on February the 19th. Citi putting out a note saying that U.S. exceptionalism, it's at least paused. It's giving you a sense of the sentiment on Wall Street. So all this action on the stock market is one thing. There's also rising concerns about the U.S. economy. Remember, the stock market and economy, they're not the same thing. But these economic worries, they're certainly fueling these stock market declines. Important to note that it's not just one thing that's impacting the stock market or the economy. It's tariff concerns that are fueling inflation concerns, that are fueling recession concerns, kind of like a snake biting its own tail. And now there's new concerns about the consumer. That's especially after Delta Airlines warned it expects profits to be lower than previously indicated because of a slowdown in both business and consumer spending and travel. And this morning, some popular retailers like Kohl's and Dick's Sporting Goods also painting a picture of a consumer slowdown.